I'm going to follow my own instructions to see if I can set up F Insights on this fresh install of WordPress. So let me go to my dashboard, and then I'm going to upload the plugin. And don't worry about what version you have, because I'm going to be updating this obviously, so the naming will change. But this is the free version of F Insights, and let's install it. Activate it, and then once we're activated, I can see instructions that I need to set up my APIs. So it takes you straight to the API config on your settings tab. And in here, I also have a set of instructions of what I believe to be the logical way to set this up. If you are a total newbie, you don't know how to do this, or if you have some experience but you haven't hung out here in a while. Let's start with the Google API configuration. I have the link for y'all if you don't know it, and it's going to take you to your Google Console account. If you don't have one, just create one. It's like opening up a Gmail account. And once you get here, make sure that you have a project selected. If you don't have a single one, you can just go and create a new one, give it a name, and don't worry about the organization, and just hit create and off you go. Once you have a project selected, go to the sidebar, make sure that you have billing enabled. Whenever you're going to try to enable an API service, you're not going to be able to do it until you enable a payment method. And if you're concerned about Google having your information, it's too late, for one. Secondly, they give you like $200 a month. So you should be getting about 5,000 API calls a month. And so if you're reaching those numbers, then you're much more advanced than what this video is for. So you don't even have to worry about it. If you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, just put your card information if you want the shit to work. All right, so just do it. So after you've done that, we're going to go to API and services, and we're going to enable a couple services. If you go back to the plugin settings, here I already have a list of the ones that you need to have enabled. So I'll go to my library, and I'm going to go through these 4 that I had mentioned, and I just want to make sure that they are enabled. Now we're going to create an API key. But we only really need the 4 that we had mentioned. All right, so it was really annoying having to go through all of them, but I just selected the restrictions to the 4 APIs I had mentioned. And then you don't want to have any restrictions. If you want to, you can restrict them to your IP address. And I don't want to get into the details, but there's a quick explanation here and a few links if you want to learn more about it. So knock yourself out. So there are none, since I just restricted them by the API, and then we can create it. And then this, which you shouldn't be able to see because I blurred in post. I'm going to copy that, and I am going to keep scrolling here to the bottom where it says Google, and I am going to paste it. And then one ways that you can know if you did it right is if you test your connection. Oh my fucking God, the drama. Okay, good, it's connected. The next one up is going to be the Claude API. I already have the link here, so you can just go straight to it. Go to your Claude account. One thing to note, you don't have to be on their paid monthly account, but you do have to pay at least $5 to get your first round of credits. It's the bare minimum you have to do, and each time you have to replenish, I think it's just $5. And you can set your own cost control, like you can cap it at a certain amount, or you can refill it when it gets to a low threshold. So here we're just going to get an API key. I already had this one, but I forgot what it was and I'm switching. Anyway, I'm going to create another one and then paste it. And then we're going to test that connection. And so it's connected. And then now you can select what model you want for your tokens to be used up, how good of a scan, how in-depth you want it to be. And I'm going to provide a link for an article where it summarizes the steps that we went through if you haven't gotten the plugin already. And it also gives you an overview about how is it that Claude decides to charge for their tokens. But anyway, we're almost done. Now that we have all of this saved, we can go to the shortcode itself. And I don't have a page, or actually I do have a page, but that's not the page I want to show to you right now. We need to assign the shortcode. So let me just copy the shortcode itself. I am going to go to a page to publish it. And here you can see I've already created a page. I'm just going to edit it. And I'm using bare bones Gutenberg. So I paste the shortcode itself. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to view this page. And then I see that my web browser wants to know where my location is. For this to work, for it to approximate where it is that you're at, you might want to accept it. One of the few reasons where you may not want to, or what would happen if you don't, is that if it gets a name where you're living in Colorado State, I meant to say Washington State because I'm near Washington, D.C., it's going to grab just the name first, and it won't take your location into account. But because what we're trying to do with this plugin is to get local market insights, you do want to allow your visitors do want to allow you to know where it is that they're coming from when they run a scan. So right now, a very popular restaurant here, let's say it's Oyamel. It's a Mexican restaurant here in DC. And you can see that it started off with my Washington, DC location, and then it mentioned another Oyamel, which is another one that they have in New York. So I just want to go to the first one, and I want to scan this business. And so the benefit of this is that it does not replace your designers. It does not replace your researchers. What it does, it's like adding a junior researcher or a junior designer to do the surface level research that you're going to find out on your own anyway. You can use a web PageSpeed Insights on your own. You can read through Google reviews. You can visually audit their website and their images and sort of like tell them what's going on, what are the pros, what are the cons. But the benefit of this tool is that it does that for you, hopefully under 90 seconds. I'm trying to get these costs low and sort of balance it with the speed that it does these scans. And sometimes what happens is that if you're not able to capture solid information on a given metric, it's not always because the technology is failing, but it's also probably because the business hasn't configured their Google profile page correctly. And that's also a gap worth mentioning. And you still have that consultative leverage to be able to approach that conversation with some hard data or very, how do I say it? Like good circumstantial evidence as to why that doesn't seem to be working properly. And so now that we're waiting for the last bit of this scan. All right, huzzah, it did work. It just terrified me. Oh man, okay. So the first iteration of the overall score is there. It's still doing its work, going through the web page speed, both for desktop and mobile. And the reason this has its own separate loading section is because different websites are built differently. They have different technologies. You could be looking up a website where it's a huge corporation, it's a chain restaurant, and it might have more data to parse through depending on just how big or small the website itself would be. And it could be other series of things of bot blockers that the website has. So this is a push and pull that Google has on punishing websites or not punishing websites, but sort of preventing tools getting access to information that they themselves are providing. Because again, this is a series of API services from Google that I'm using. So anyway, while this thing is still working its life out, one of the things that you can see is that It talks about an online presence. It gives you bullet points. It gives you a humanized review about the information that you are reading. And here are some low and high reviews that you can approach a potential client with, or if you're doing this for your own local business, it gives you some things to think about, to manage yourself, to pass on to your internal team, or to hire someone who could provide these services. And I think this is a pretty cool, nifty set of resources to have. All right, I paused the video because I rambled on too much, and this is one of the things I'm talking about. Not all websites, not all scans are going to give you the page speeds directly, and maybe it's something where I'm still lacking. It's something that Google might be contradicting itself on. I don't have a response for you right now. But I do have a fallback where you can go through here and then do that other. Oh, here, it also failed. Okay, so it might be the website. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It still gives you a few metrics. It still gives you a fallback. And I'm still working on this plugin. So again, it still might be my own. I'm just lacking. So I have to figure out how to make this a better experience and a more useful resource for consultants and agencies, or if you're a local business owner, you're able to go through the page speeds, the online presence, customer reviews at a glance. None of this is being made up. If this information feels off, or you as the owner says, no, that's not true, or what have you, this is what Google understands to be true as of right now. So if you're seeing discrepancies in this information, you should probably go through your account and see what information you're actually giving people, because all this is just bringing public data in and giving it a humanized layer of making sense of these boring metrics or overwhelming metrics, depending on how you see it. Oh, this is a pretty cool tab, the competition tab. Again, it gives you at a glance, very superficial, but it does help you think about how you might see your own business, who you might not think others are your competitors, when they might actually have more commonalities in your market audience that you're trying to reach. It would be good intel, good insights. And even if they don't go anywhere, these are good talking points where you could start a conversation and learn more about what is it that your prospect is actually struggling with. So it would be a sounding board to start these conversations and say, hey, my understanding when I was going through Google is that it says this about your business. Does this feel true? Does this resonate? And one of the things that you can do if you want to share this within your internal team, or if you're the business owner sharing it with your team as well, or your developer, is that you can copy the link and have a temporary link where it's, oh, now it's coming up. This is so annoying. But it only pulled mobile. All right, this is some good progress. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with my cache, that it is giving me metrics. So this was what I was trying to show you earlier, that it gives you some quick insights about your website structure itself. It's not new information that this already doesn't give you. But one of the things that I think I'm trying to do a better job is that I'm just trying to take out the technical jargon and just tell you straight up what this means. All right, I'm hoping it's more useful, more condensed, and less boring talk. And here is the, oh yeah, and here it says it expires in 6 days. I'm going to be creating other videos to expand on the other settings, what they mean and what they are, because you are able to set the expiration for your temporary shareable reports, depending on the time sensitivity you want to give your prospects, because what's true today on April 29th might not be true 3 months from now. A new report would have to be generated. So yeah, that's it for now. The plugin works, the shortcode works, and this is F Insights, and it's my first video. Yeah.